Hey everybody, and welcome back to every solo jazz piano technique that you need to know. My name is Noah Kellman, and today we're going to be talking about stride piano. For me, stride piano is absolutely essential for being a good solo pianist. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do it in a way that sounds old-fashioned, although I do love that sound. But I think it's still really important because at the very least, we want to be able to play ballads well and have that left hand chord pattern under our fingers. So today we're going to dive deep into stride and take a look at what you need to know to continue down the path of being an incredible solo jazz pianist. Really quick, if you're new to the channel, please consider clicking subscribe so you don't miss any more videos like this one, and of course hitting that little bell to turn on notifications. Also, if you've been following my channel for a while, you actually may know that you can just click the link in the description and set up a completely free 15-minute Zoom call that's going to be either with myself or one of our coaches. You can ask any questions you might have about the piano or any of the programs that I offer as well, and we'll help point you in the right direction. So click the link and get signed up for a free call today. All right, so let's dive into stride here. So at this point, I think it's been at least a year and a half since I've done any videos on stride, so I want to just get down into the fundamentals and really look at how we can build up these skills in a sensible way. So just for the record, the main goal of this video is not going to be replicating a super authentic old-fashioned stride sound. This is going to be about how you can apply these techniques right away to actually start playing stride piano. So that means we're going to be using left-hand voicings that you may already have in your voicing arsenal, and I'm going to be showing you some of the fundamental tricks that you can use here. So obviously, step one, stride is about playing a bass note and then a chord. So first things first is just get comfortable with that motion, right? This is really what stride comes down to. So I recommend actually starting out nice and slow. So here's a little trick for practicing that's really going to take your stride playing to the next level pretty quickly. Practice your favorite voicings in inversions. So what I mean is play a bass note, root position, bass note, first inversion, bass note, next inversion. Right, just like that. So you can actually practice stride with one single voicing. If we wanted to do something a little bit more modern, maybe we take like a classic Bill Evans minor 9 chord here. So, we're taking F minor 9, we've got flat 3, 5, flat 7, 9, and then we're just inverting it up to this voicing. So we could practice that. So that's a really nice thing to practice because this is going to give you different inversions that you can use depending on your hand positions. Now, obviously, how do we get our stride playing to really kind of sound a little bit next level? Playing just a bass note is really not going to cut it, right? So there are some different patterns that we can use here. One very common pattern is you might just play 1 and 7. So if we're looking at a 2-5-1, you might hear something like this. 1, flat 7 in the left hand, so a shell. And then you'll play a 10th on the 5. Now, of course, the interval of a 10th here, right? So 1 to 3 an octave above. Now, I can't actually reach that 10th all the way, so I will roll it, and that's totally fine. In fact, in some ways, I prefer that sound, right? It's kind of interesting. I think some pianists even did that on purpose, to be honest. Right, so you might hear patterns like that. So there's a great exercise to practice right off the bat. You're going to do a shell on the 2 minor, and then a 10th on the 5, and we'll just use this little pattern here, right? Those Bill Evans voicings. So see if you can get that next. And that's an awesome way to work on this. So in the process of doing this, we of course learned that tenths work pretty nicely. Now, depending on your hand size, you might be able to reach different things. I can reach minor tenths generally pretty well. I can reach major tenths on the white keys. And what we can start to actually do is we can use some walking bass, but do it in tenths. right? And so we're actually getting that kind of really nice stride sound. And we're leading from one chord to the next with kind of a little intermittent walking bass. Right? And it ties the chord changes together really, really nicely. So that's another very standard trick that you may not realize you can do. Really quick aside here, of course, all of these videos are actually brought to you by products made by yours truly. So I really, really appreciate you guys taking a look at them and seeing if they might be worth purchasing for you, of course, because every single sale goes straight towards me making more videos just like this one. And as it turns out, I have an awesome stride product available that takes a lot of the techniques we're talking about in this video and puts them into comprehensive exercises and strategies that you can practice. So if you go through that book, you can know going literally from exercise 1 through the end, you are going to be basically adding in different techniques that are really, really going to help your stride playing. That is called 20 Killer Stride Piano Exercises. You can find it at jazzpianoconcepts.com/store. So be sure to check that out if that sounds interesting to you. Now another great little left-hand trick is to do a 1 and then jump up to flat 7, flat 3. So if you have to play stride really fast, that's a way to kind of fake it, right? Because it's really, really difficult to, play stride fast unless you have gigantic hands, but most of us don't. And so, trying to do a 10th and then jump up to a chord and do this really fast is tricky. So instead what we can do is kind of fake it a little bit by playing that root and then flat 7, 3. And then we could just go to a simple kind of shell / root position 7th chord here. Right, and we're totally faking it, but that's okay. So something like that. So where I would really recommend you start learning stride is in a ballad, taking it really nice and slow. There's so much we can do with a ballad. I mean, I still love playing ballads like this because it offers a really consistent rhythmic flow. And that's a beautiful thing to have when you're playing solo piano. But it also doesn't just sound as sparse as playing a left-hand bass line would, right? So, So see if you can get the left hand to a ballad flowing really, really nicely first. Another kind of pro tip is I find that, using nice voice leading between the left hand voicings you choose can actually go a long way. Even when you're playing stride, right? Using nice voice leading really, really sounds great to the ear. Your ear still catches like the melodies that happen. So the way I kind of think of it is, can I have kind of a nice melody at the top of my left hand? Right? All really, really nice movement here between the chords. By the way, if you're learning some great stuff in this video so far, please be sure to hit the like button. That really, really helps myself and the channel out. All right, so we've been talking a lot about the left hand. Let's talk about the right hand now. So there's one technique that I think is going to be really of paramount importance here when playing stride, playing melodies, and being able to really, bring this home. And that's going to be playing octave chords, or kind of chords at the octave. So we have an octave on the outside, and what we're going to do is we're going to basically play diatonic kind of triadic harmony here on the inside. So one way you can really practice this that goes a long way is practicing this shape diatonically. So we've got E flat Dorian here. So we're just going to move this shape right through the scale. Then what we'll do is actually combine that simple pattern with the left hand. next we can practice doing some arpeggiation. Right? And maybe some melodies. And next, maybe we want to practice that also with the 5th chord as well. Now another trick I'm sort of throwing in there is sometimes you might actually keep the same 2 notes in the middle, and that can go really, really a long way as well. Right, so you can practice something like this. All the same notes on the inside. So next up, you definitely want to start practicing improvising while you play stride. Right, so you can literally just take chords, take the chords to whatever tune you want. Sorry, I got a little carried away here, but you know, start really slow. Start on a ballad. You know, see if you can work your way up. So, you know, just like learning a classical piece, you get one hand really comfortable first, and then take it from there. One other quick tip that I forgot to mention before is how I do the pedal. So what I like to do is really kind of almost tap my foot, literally on all 4, and I get kind of a nice feel here. Two, three, four, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. This is what my foot is doing. And as you get a little bit more comfortable with it, you can kind of learn to time it a little bit better based on the feel that you want to achieve and your own feel. But I find that that works really, really nice, honestly. All right, so that right there is already a ton of material to work with, especially for one video here. But for me, that's really like all the fundamentals that you need to just start slaying it at stride piano and practicing it and being able to do this by yourself when you're playing solo piano. So I got lots more solo piano techniques where that came from, but stride piano is so fundamental, so definitely make sure you get that under your fingers. And again, if you want to really take this stuff to a deeper level and have like a nice consistent set of exercises to follow, check out 20 killer stride piano exercises in jazzpianoconcepts.com/store. Or if you want some personal guidance, click the link in the description and set up a totally free Zoom call. I'll definitely be back very soon with more techniques that you need for solo jazz piano. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.